Okay, I didn't publish my last video because as you see this little blue line right there, it has to fill up all the way to the top of here to actually be pushing electricity in the grid. And you'll see that number right there change, telling you the wattage that it's putting out. And that 12 will go down to 11. I did get some footage on there. I'm going to attach it to this video, but first we're just going to see how long it takes for that to switch over. So right now we plugged in the bigger one that we had, AC to DC. It is a 12 volt 10 amp, and we just got through running a, and it's pretty hot too, but we just got through running, let's see, and that's 12 volts 5 amps 0.8. So this thing worked excellent. It put 43 watts back into the grid. After running in about an hour though, it is quite warm. So I put the bigger adapter on there to see how well it would do. And we're just waiting for it to kick in and start actually pumping energy into the grid. We do got it plugged directly into the grid. So remember what the loop around is. We're starting with 12 volts 10 amps. So that means when you plug this into the thing, it's drawing 12 volts 10 amps. It is now being boosted by this thing. See the 12 volts, and then it's boosted, and you'll see that stop fluctuating when this thing starts to fill all the way up. And then this thing right here boosts it up, and then you can see the voltage 24, 22, and then over here where which it's plugged in the grid, you'll see this thing in the middle, how many watts and stuff that is actually putting back in there. And there it goes. See, it is now putting 16 watts into the grid, 20. You see how it dropped down here to the 11, and you start to see the battery filling up. So you see in 24, and then you see 35. So it's actually putting amps. The amps kicked in, and now it's putting this back into the grid. And I think it topped off at 43 last time. I'm seeing 47. And I'm hearing a little hum. So this thing is actually doing what it's supposed to do. I'm 25, 30, boosting that up. So it's still fluctuating. Remember, we're going to see that all the way, get to the all the way to the top. And then that should stable off. And again, how you know it's drawing, you had 12 and now you have 1120 right here at the top where it's the simulated solar, but we're using an adapter, and it drops down, so it's doing work. How else we know it's doing work is this right here is telling you that it's actually doing work. So it's almost at the top, and you can see that it's not fluctuating as much as it was. It's still fluctuating a little, but not as much. So like I said, as soon as that gets to be full, it will settle down even more. But this is how we know how we can put energy into the grid. And at 46, 47, go back down to 47.3. It's fluctuating too up there. Yeah, that's pretty good. Enough energy to put in the grid that would make some kind of significant order on your bill, that I could actually read the bill and say, oh yeah, it went down by this much. So yes, this is actually going into our grid, and we liked it. This is a 1000 watt tie grid inverter. And let me back it out so we can get a better look at that. There's the adapter that we were talking about. See if I can bring that up there. Oh, I still got it tied up, but let's see. There, you should be able to see the 12 volts, 10 amps adapter, and it is plugged in, so I don't want to unplug it. Again, every time you unplug this, you always take away this, and it has to warm up and all that kind of stuff. So now the battery is full, and it's only fluctuating between 27 and 28. And it's saying that it's putting 60 to 56, 54, 60. This is the one that we're reading right here. So let me get something pointer. This right here is what we're reading. So that's coming. That's what how many watts. See the W? How many watts this thing is putting into this tie grid. And then this right here went down from 50, it went to 40, now it's 46, is putting that back into the grid. And that is voltage times amps. So you get 46.7, and we just had 50, so it's fluctuating. Again, the surprising thing is that we're putting 10 amps into this, and only 2 amps right now is being drawn upon. So I wanted to see, because we had 5 amps and it only had 1. So it went up 1 extra amp by going up 10. So this is a you can only put 10 amps into this the grid, but I believe this is a 100 watt charge controller. So look, this is how we put energy into the grid. And then if we want to actually put energy into our battery, let's see if I can get that into the scene. Move this out of the way. Energy into the battery, all we would have to do is take this plug and plug it in. Okay. And now energy. Okay, I have 50, 60 watts here and 43 watts there. And now energy is going into our battery. It just kicked on, and the battery is charging. So now that we see this, let's take a closer look. Take this off the... Let's take a closer look. And you can see that the battery is being charged. Let's go over here to the battery and say it was at 13.2 and is already to 13.4. There we is just about to go to 13.5. That means that battery is charging. And we have it plugged into where we're putting energy into that grid. And we're back here and we're watching that $47 being put in there. And I see it going from 118 to down to 117, back up to 118. So it's fluctuating between those two. And this is charging this 12 volts. With 12 volts. You know, the 12 volt battery down there, that's a 12 volt battery down there. And this right here is drawing 12 volts from the cord, boosting this up to 27 volts so we can put extra in there. So we just took 12 volts back off there, so it's charging the battery, so we can definitely draw power from that up to 12 volts. Any more, then it'll run down the battery. But as we start learning this, we're going to see how we're doing that full workaround. Because what? Out of 12 volts boosted up, we're putting 27 volts back in there. 2 amps put in there, which is 60, 50, is fluctuating back and forth, approximately back into this machine here, and it's saying that it's doing 47. See, it changed to 46. Okay, watts back into the grid. So that is more than 12 volts. So how do we take some of the readings? Let's see if we can find the wattage. Sometimes they put it on here and sometimes they don't. Wait a minute. I don't see it on there. They didn't put it on this one. Sometimes they do and sometimes they don't. So I don't see it on the power adapter. Let's see if I see it on the other power adapter, because it is a little bit less. Let's see this power adapter. Doesn't want to focus. That's all right. I don't see it on this one either. Most of the time they would tell you the wattage, and I'll look up the wattage and probably put it on the screen a little bit later. But 47 watts, and this is how you read it. So once you learn how much wattage that's coming, that it's pulling from the grid and breaking that down, then you can understand how much more energy you're putting back into the grid. So is it the same? I'll look it up, put it on the bottom of the screen, and then it'll tell you. But I can tell you right now, the voltage times amps, it should be higher because of that boost. You know, because remember, it's only drawing 11. We put in 12, it's only drawing 11, and that's because it's actually putting 12 in there, but it's only reading 11.2, and then it's going to 27 volts, so it's stepping it up. Okay, And I don't know why that's so blurry. That should be studied. Let me bring that down. There we go. Much better. But like I say, you see how it jumps up to 61 and then comes down? But like I said, so it is trying to put that type of wattage out. And even though that's only consuming 47 now, sometimes it jumps up to 50. That right there, being a 1,000 watts, is more power than that little 12 volts that we're consuming. Okay, so that's how we do our wraparounds. We can boost this up even more because I can put another booster before it goes into this booster and really boost this up before it starts to actually go into batteries and stuff like that. So let's see where our battery is. Our battery is now at 13.6. And you remember what it was last time? If not, go back and look at the video. And again, that's free energy. That's free energy putting back into the grid. That's beautiful. From 26.6 volts, boosting it up. You see you got 117.7 plugged into the wall, and it's putting 47.1 watts back into our grid. That is a boost from that 27 volts. And from 12 to 27, that is a good boost. All right. Thanks for watching.